Hey folks, welcome to Software Testing Hacks. In this video, we will learn about one of the important topic of Java, which is encapsulation, one of the best or one of the important pillar for OOPS concept. So before we begin, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and let's get started. So I have created a new class called Encapsulation Java. If we see the definition, general definition of encapsulation, it is nothing but it is a process of wrapping up of data and code. Data is nothing but variables, and the code is nothing but methods into a single unit. Is called as encapsulation, and this provides a method for data hiding. Okay, so what does it mean? First, let's understand this concept. I will create another class. Let's say the class name is test. Okay. I have declared a variable which is called int a, or let's say int number. Okay. I'll give just int number and then string name. Okay. So these are the two variables that I have declared now. If I want to access these two variables, how we generally do it? We will create the object of this test class. Test obj is equal to new test. So by this, we were able to access obj dot number. So I will assign a value like 10 and then obj dot let's say name. Let's assign a value testing hacks. Okay. And then I will print this value. Let's say obj dot number, and then let's concatenate it with obj dot name. So let's execute this. We were able to access both of this value. But now, certain time, what happens is I don't want to share the these whatever members that I have inside this class. I don't want this to be accessible directly by any other class, because I want this scope to be within or inside this class test only. How can we achieve that? At that time, we this encapsulation comes into picture. What happens? By default, this is public. Because of that, we are able to access these members. But what if I make this private? Private in the sense it is only limited for this particular test. Okay. And I'll make both of them private. Let's see what happened now. It is throwing an error. It says that the field test number is not visible, and also the name is not visible. Why? Because now we have restricted the access of these two variables, right? So what can I do now? For that, let's create a method in test class. Okay, let's name it as public void, um, let's say get number is one method I'm going to create. What I'll do is I'll comment these statements and I'll assign value here 10, and then let's name testing hacks here. Okay. Now I'll return number. Okay. So as we are returning the number, we have to make this, instead of void, we will make it int, because we are returning the number here. Okay. So it is simple. What we did is, basically, we have to make those variables private so that the scope of those variables will be limited to only that particular class. Now, outside the class, if I want to access, how can we do that? That let's see now. And also, I will create public string get name, and then we will return the name. Okay. Now, what we will do is, now let's print this. Will this work? Definitely it will not work. Instead of number, let's call get number method. Is this accessible? Yes, it is accessible. Object dot get name. So instead of calling these variables directly, I am calling it using the get number and get name method. Let's run this. This also worked. So what we did is, to make this encapsulation, we have to make the member of these class private, and then using getter and setter method, we can again perform some actions on this variables, and then we'll be able to access them. So another thing what we will do is, for now, let's comment these two methods. So now we used get method, get and then set. Let's set now. Let's perform set on that. I'll write public void set number. Another method I'm writing. So inside this method, what I'll do is, I will pass this variable. Let's say int n we will pass, and then whenever we have this number, we will say n. Okay, and then we will print that system.out.println. Let's print the number. In the same way, we will do it for name as well. Instead of set number, we will set name, and we will say string yes. Okay, so instead of number, we will say name, and then let's assign this to yes, and we will print this name. So now this method, instead of calling this method, we will. So now what we will do is, let's say obj dot set number. We will set the value here. Okay, and then again obj dot set name, and here let's pass the value. Okay, let's close this. Okay, and we will run it now. This also worked. So we understood that what we did is, we made the variables of the class private so that it is not accessible outside the class, and then we called it using the method, using the getter and setter method. So it is best to practice always to use get and set. Why? Because is, suppose if somebody other person who is seeing this code, he'll get to know that this is how they are doing. We can also remove get and set, and rather we can name it as ABC or anything. But it is a good practice whenever you do it using get and set method name. Okay, so this is all about the encapsulation in Java. If you have liked this video, please do like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.